So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Arman here, and today it is time for me to bring you a list of things that need to be fixed by EA in FIFA 19 career mode. We saw a patch very recently where the extent of the improvements were slightly different cutscenes for transfers and also the addition of a tie for Petr Cech. However, in my opinion, that really is not enough. There's plenty of things that still need fixing on this game, and I mean plenty. There's really a lot of things that need to be fixed at this point. They're not necessarily new features, but they're just elements of career mode that really could well be improved upon. So feel free to smash the like button if you go on to enjoy this video, and feel free to subscribe if you go on to enjoy and you're new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video, and it really helps me out. So first of all, transfer talks break down far too much. And I mean, all that flipping, it's literally impossible to sell certain players. This was an issue on FIFA 18, and it's still a massive problem. You get more bids. One thing I will give to FIFA 19 career mode is you get plenty more bids for your players. You won't exactly go an entire transfer window without getting a bid for a player. You'll get 5 or 6 for every single player. It's just that all 5 or all 6 of those bids will be turned down by the player. And I'll tell you what the problem is. First of all, players don't seem to like going to a team worse than the one they're at, which I understand to an extent, but if you're not good enough to be at the team you're playing for, you're not going to get any game time. Just fix up and face that you're not good enough, alright? There's no harm in it. Sometimes you've just got to accept that you're not good enough for the club you're playing at, mate. And that's the reason why 90% of players are sold. So I don't know why this mechanic exists within the game, where players literally won't leave because the team they're going to is worse. It's a very odd phenomenon. It obviously isn't the case in real life. Why? I don't know whether anyone else gets this, but why on earth are the players that I'm selling only being bidded for by Argentinian and Brazilian teams? Like, I'm playing as Wolves, for example, in my FIFA 19 career mode series, and I'm consistently getting bids only from Argentinian or Brazilian teams. That's the reason they're not going. My 66 rated English goalkeeper, who's spent his entire life in England, doesn't want to go and live in Argentina. That's the reason the transfer talks are breaking down. I don't know what, I never ever get bids for my players in an English league from lower league English sides. Never. I think it's happened. I can count on the amount of times on one hand it's happened. Anytime it has happened, the players left because they're going to a team in England. The problem is, I'm getting bids from stupid teams that the players obviously don't want to go to because they're in different countries and ridiculously far away from where they live. On top of that, loaning players is also too difficult. We just need to sort out the transfer talks breaking down all the time. Number 2, game plans always mess up in-game. This isn't just a career mode issue, in fairness. It's a general FIFA issue. I don't know whether it was fixed in the last update or the last patch, but it's a serious issue. Every single time I'm playing career mode, I'll go on to attacking or ultra attacking, and my centre back will suddenly pop up as a number 10. And it's like, no, trust me, I've been on the game plans on the squad hub and before I go into the game, and it's set not to do that, but then for some reason when I get into the actual match, it does that. Another thing it likes to do is swap players' sides for no reason. So my left centre mid will become my right centre mid, and my left winger will become my right winger, and that really makes no sense. That completely makes no sense to me. Why would I want my wingers to switch just because I've gone attacking? That doesn't make any sense, and it's something that needs to be fixed because I can't be bothered to suddenly realise that my number 10 is playing at centre back when it's way too late. Number 3, assistant manager simming is broken. This is only an issue really if you want to sim a wide amount of games at the same time. But for those that don't know, your assistant manager will take charge of the games whilst you sim on the calendar. So if you sim an entire month using the calendar, your assistant manager basically takes over choosing the team. And more often than not, he'll be absolutely idiotic in choosing the players that he puts out onto the pitch every time, and your results probably won't be that great because he'll probably choose to leave out your best players, just because they don't necessarily play in the right position to the formation. Like, they might have the secondary position to be playing them where you're playing, but your assistant manager won't quite work that information out, and he'll just drop them completely. So more often than not, if I sim an entire season in an experiment, for example, I'm getting 70 rated players playing every single game in a season, and it really makes no sense at all, and it has a big impact on how a season can go. So if an assistant manager could actually base the team on, I don't know, rating, that would be very impressive and would help a lot. The Youth Academy name pool seems even smaller than it was before. This is point number 4. I don't know how on earth they've managed to do this, but it's literally worse than it was before. The name pool is a shambles. You're getting players with the same names constantly. All you need to do is take some of the names from existing players, like they do with regens, and insert them into the Youth Academy name pool as well, and give us a bit more variety. Sticking with the topic of Youth Academies, their ethnicities are literally all over the place, and I hope I don't offend anyone with this one, alright? I've got pretty much every ethnicity available within me, and personally it annoys me as well. So I feel like I mean, it doesn't make a difference who says it, but I feel like I can get away with this point to some extent. But they're ridiculous, like literally. Okay, for example, pretty much 90% of English players are black. There's a lot of black people who live in England, alright? I will not deny that. You know, my dad lives in England, he's black. Fair enough. Sound, I'll give you that one. But 90% of English footballers are not black. it just isn't a thing. I've also never seen a mixed race English player in a youth academy. I've seen some white players, mostly black players, never a mixed race player. In Africa, I'm getting players from South Africa who are all white. Black people make up the majority of the South African national team, though obviously white players do exist, and there are a lot of white people in South Africa, but the majority of players who play football in South Africa are black. And it's the same with all the other African countries as well. Asian countries are picking up white players, and it's making no sense at all, ladies and gents. I'm not gonna lie, that needs fixing because it's just completely, it's just irrational. The Serie A broadcast package is needed. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna have Cristiano Ronaldo, controversially as things stand, the cover star of your game title, you need to actually make it look like he's playing in Serie A when you're playing with him in Serie A. Just put some broadcasting packages in. They did it late with the UEFA Super Cup. Surely they can pay a little bit more money and get the broadcasting rights for Serie A at some point during the course of this game cycle. Point number 7, there needs to be more save slots. You only get 4, and there used to be 8. Like, 8 was bad enough as it was. 8 barely covered what you needed for a game cycle, but it was probably just about doable. 4 is ridiculous. I don't know why on earth they've halved it, but you can still only have 4 career modes on the go at the same time, which for me, especially as a video maker, is very difficult because I've got experiments and series going on left, right, and centre, and I now can't keep any of them after I finish them for, you know, nostalgia or whatever, so that definitely needs fixing. Apparently, though, according to Zaro, who works for EA, that is something they're looking into. More avatars are needed for managers. If we're not going to be able to customise them, at least put some more presets in. I still can't be mixed race on the game. I have to either be black or Asian, and I'm neither of those things. EA, for crying out loud, mixed race people exist. Put some presets in so that we can at least look moderately like how we do in real life, at least complexion-wise. And then finally, one issue that's really getting on my nerves because I'm using a team that it affects is that very important players still aren't face scanned. Usually when a team is promoted to the Premier League, their faces are scanned. That hasn't happened this year, and people like Ruben Neves and Diogo Jota and Helder Costa still aren't face scanned. Fabinho from Liverpool is just a generic face, and it's so infuriating to look at. So that really needs to be sorted out. Face scans for more Premier League players, and just players generally speaking, would really be nice. I think there's a lot of players now who deserve a face scan who still for some reason don't have them. That though wraps up all the things that I think need fixing in FIFA 19 career mode. I think some of them for sure will be during the course of the game cycle. The EA community officers are very open at this point and they're looking for feedback, so I think they will pass this on and hopefully some of it will get fixed. But it's just so infuriating, some of these things, including the transfers, the youth academies situation, and just the fact that we only get 4 save slots especially are very infuriating to me. Let me know down in the comment section what you think needs fixing if I didn't mention it in this video. Whilst you're at it, slap a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it really helps me out if you go ahead and press that one. You can also follow me on social media these days too. My Twitter and Insta are at @theofficialfng and links are down below. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
You the best, no less.